Hello everyone. So in this video, we will learn how to automatically create certificates on form responses and send it on WhatsApp. So let us begin with a small example. So as you can see, this is a form that I have built on my Google Forms and the title is Tree Plantation Drive Form. So the idea is that a student is going to fill in this form, and once the form is filled, he will be getting a certificate on his WhatsApp number. So let me show you how it's done. So first of all, I'm just going to enter the details like the first name. So the first name is June, okay, and the last name is Jerry. Okay, so the person is June Jerry, and she's going to plant, let's say, sandalwood, and this is her WhatsApp number. Okay, so the WhatsApp number has been entered, or basically it's the phone number, and let me just click on submit. So let's assume that a person called as June Jerry has submitted the form. Now the idea is that she will be getting a WhatsApp message from me, and this WhatsApp message will basically contain the link of the certificate that I have built for her. So let me just straight away show you the certificate that June Jerry has got from me. Okay, so imagine this is the WhatsApp profile of June, and this is the certificate that June Jerry has got from me. So June is just going to click on this link, okay, and through the link the PDF has been downloaded, and this is the PDF. So this is the certificate, Tree Savers Society, New York. Hello June, first a big thank you. This is to certify that June Jerry has planted sandalwood. Now remember this, June Jerry had planted sandalwood. She had chose the option that is sandalwood. Many future generation will be saved because of this act of generosity. Really hope for this kind of support in the future also. And basically this is the name of the person who is going to send the certificate. That is basically me, Peter Parker, Tree Savers Society, New York. So your obvious question is, how did I do it? How did I manage to send the data from Google Forms to WhatsApp? So basically, here I've used an integration and automation software called as Pabbly Connect that integrates Google Sheets and WhatsApp. Now the best part of using Pabbly Connect is there is actually no need for coding skills or programming knowledge. Let me show you the process. So basically, in the new tab, just type pabbly.com, 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 press enter. Okay, so now before we begin the integration, there are three things I have to tell you. First, we are using Chat API to send the WhatsApp messages. Second, Pabbly Connect doesn't own Chat API. Chat API is a third-party software we use to send WhatsApp message. Third, and perhaps the most important thing, Chat API is a paid software, although you can use Chat API on free trial for some days. Okay, so this is the website of Pabbly.com, hover on products, and here you will find Connect. Just click on Connect. Okay, so all you have to do is at this point, just click on sign in. Okay, so this is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. As you can see, I already have made an account in Pabbly Connect. You can also create your own free account in just 2 minutes. Let me just scroll down, and here you will find Connect. Just click on Access Now. Okay, so basically we are going to create a new workflow to integrate Google Forms, Google Docs, Google Drive, and WhatsApp. So let me just click on this button, Create Workflow. Click this. Okay, so we have to give a name to this workflow. So I'm planning to give it as Google Forms. Okay. To Google Docs. Okay. To Google Drive. To WhatsApp. And let me just click on create. Okay, so basically this is how we create a new workflow to integrate Google Forms to Google Docs to Google Drive to WhatsApp. Now also you should know that I will add the link of this workflow in the description box in case if you want to clone it and directly access it into your account. Okay, so as you can see, when you click on create, you will find two windows, the trigger window as well as the action window. Now, with regards to the trigger window, we basically want to send the data when the trigger happens. Now, the trigger is basically when a form entry is made. So that is why I'm going to use the Choose app as Google Forms. Google Forms it is. Okay, yeah, this one. Now in the trigger event, how about we make it as new response in Spreadsheet? Okay, so new response in Spreadsheet is a trigger event. So your obvious question is, what is a trigger event? Trigger is basically a if statement. It asks a question, if this condition is met, what should be done? For example, if a new response is created in Google Sheet, then what action should be taken by the system? Now here you have two obvious questions. The first obvious question is, why the hell are we working in incognito mode? And the second question is the trigger event, why it is new response in spreadsheet? Well, the answer to your first question is the integration of Google Forms and WhatsApp involves the creation of Google Sheet. Now, if you're working with Google Sheet and have multiple Gmail accounts, it is always advisable that you work in incognito mode. Otherwise, there will be the problem of authentication. Okay, now the trigger event, why new response in spreadsheet? It should be something like new response in Google Forms. Why new response in spreadsheet? Well, to explain you that, let me just straight away take you to my Google Forms. So this is a new form, okay, that I have created. So we do have nearly the same fields. We have the roll number, we have the name, we have the last name, we have the type the person is going to plant, and then we have, of course, the WhatsApp number. So the idea is that we are going to integrate this particular form to Pabbly Connect. So basically this is how you do it. You just scroll down and have a look at the last field. So the last field is WhatsApp number, and I'm going to make sure that this field is mandatory. So I'm just going to toggle this to the right. Okay, excellent. And after that, let me just scroll up, and here you will find responses. Click this. Okay, so as you can see, there is a small icon, and this is for creating the spreadsheet. Click this. Okay, so basically the idea is that we are going to create a new spreadsheet for this particular Google form. Okay, so the idea is that once the data is collected from this Google form, it will straight away be collected in our Google Sheet, and from Google Sheet it will be sent to Pabbly Connect. If you don't understand, give it a minute, I will explain you better. So as you can see, it is already showing create a new spreadsheet. All you have to do is just click on create. So the default name, that is the default name of this particular Google Sheet is World Plantation Day Responses. So as you can see, we have created a new spreadsheet for this particular form. Okay, so these are the fields we have: roll number, first name, last name, the push type, as well as the WhatsApp number. And this is the associated Google Sheet for it. We have roll number, first name, last name, push type, and WhatsApp number. So the idea is that when a respondent fills in this form, the data of the response will be automatically gathered here, and from here it will be sent to Pabbly Connect, and from Pabbly Connect it will be sent to Google Docs, to Google Drive, and WhatsApp. Easy. Okay, so what's next? So the idea is that we are going to integrate this particular Google Sheet to Pabbly Connect. So to begin the integration, all you have to do is just click on add-ons. Now before we click on add-ons, there is something I have to show you. Now remember this, the last data entry column is column F. Okay, I repeat this again, the last data entry column is column F. Okay, so let me just click on add-ons. Going back to Pabbly Connect webhooks, and just click on this button, initial setup. Now remember this, Pabbly Connect webhook is an add-on that I have installed in your system, in my system. Now if you are beginning fresh, Pabbly Connect webhooks might not have been installed yet. So first of all, just click on get add-ons. So I'm going to teach you how to install the webhook, that is Pabbly Connect webhooks. Okay, so in the search, just type Pabbly Connect webhooks. Pabbly Connect webhooks, click this. Okay, so it is showing by default it is already installed in my system. So we just click on this button and Pabbly Connect webhooks will be already installed. Now as you can see, this add-on is already installed in my system. So I'm not going to install it again. All you have to do is just click on this button and it will be installed in your system also. Now after installing Pabbly Connect webhooks, do not forget to refresh the Google Sheet. I repeat this again. After installing Pabbly Connect webhooks, do not forget to refresh our Google Sheet. So let me just cancel this. Going back to add-ons, clicking on Pabbly Connect webhooks, just click on initial setup. Okay, so when you click on initial setup, you will have two fields, the webhook URL as well as the trigger column. Now let's start with the trigger column. Remember this, the last data entry column is always the trigger column. In our case, the last data entry column is column F. So we are going to mention the trigger column as column F. Now we have to send the data to a particular page, so that is why we are going to mention that address. So basically that will be your webhook URL. So where is our webhook URL? So this is how you get your webhook URL. You just go to Pabbly Connect and copy this. This is the webhook URL you want. You simply copy this and just paste it here. Easy. Okay, so we have entered the webhook URL, we have entered the trigger column. All you have to do is just click on submit. Okay, so basically we have integrated this particular Google Sheet to Pabbly Connect. This basically means anytime a new response is created in Google Forms, the data will be collected here. And since column F will be triggered, it will send the data to Pabbly Connect. Now there is something else you have to do. Go back to add-ons, clicking on Pabbly Connect webhooks and just click on send on event. So this will ensure that anytime column F is filled, doesn't matter which row it will keep sending on the data. So let's check, is Pabbly Connect capable of capturing the data? Okay, yes, it is showing it is waiting for the response. So how about we conduct some experiment? So let me just straight away take you to the Google form. Okay, and let me just click on preview. Okay, so imagine this, a student called as let's say Cinderella, or let's say about Ruby. Okay, a person or a student called as Ruby is filling the form. Her roll number is 23 and the first name is Ruby, the last name is Billy, Ruby Billy, and she is going to plant, let's say, lily. Okay, and this is her WhatsApp number. Okay, so this is her WhatsApp number. Let me just click on submit. So imagine this, a form submission has been made by Ruby Billy. Okay, and she has selected a particular set of plant, that is lily, that she will plant on World Plantation Day. Okay, so the form submission has been made. Now, as I mentioned, this data of Ruby Lily will be sent to the Google Sheet. So let's have a look. So as you can see, the data has arrived in Google Sheet. So these are the fields. Okay, these are the this is the row and the associated column. As you can see, we have the timestamp, the time at which this data was collected, and then we have the roll number, that is roll number 23. The first name is Ruby, the last name is Billy, and the bush type that she is trying to plant is lily, and this is basically her WhatsApp number. So as you can see, the last column, okay, the last column or the trigger column has been filled. So this means that the trigger has been rigged. So let's have a look whether Pabbly Connect has captured this detail or not. Yes, the data has been captured. So we do have the roll number, that is 23. We have the first name as Ruby, the last name as Billy, the bush type as Lily, the WhatsApp number as this, and this is the row index. Row index is basically the row, that is second row. Okay, so all the data has been collected. Now what's next? So we have collected the data of Ruby Billy. Now we have to create a certificate for it. Okay, now I'm using a template in Google. I'm using a template in Google Docs to create a template. Let me just straight away show you that template. Okay, so as you can see, this is the template. Okay, so this is the template for creating the certificate, and the title is template for plantation certificates, and this is the heading, Tree Savers Society, New York, and hello, first a big thank you, this is to certify that, and basically you have already seen the certificate. So basically this is the template. Now the idea is that we are going to introduce some dynamic tags here, and we are going to ensure that once a person is filled the Google Forms, their certificate will be generated from the template that is present in this Google Doc. Okay, so this is how you do it. First of all, since this particular template is present in Google Docs, we are going to deal with Google Docs. So in the action window, we are going to choose app as Google Docs. Google Docs it is. Now in the action event, how about we make it as create a document from template, this one, because basically the idea is that we are going to create a particular certificate from this particular template. This is the template. Okay, I hope it is clear, because if it is not, you will understand in some minutes. Okay, so in the new connection name, let me just click on connect with Google Docs. Okay, so remember this, this particular template is present in my Google Drive, and my Google Drive is associated with this Gmail account. So I'm just selecting this one. Okay, so it is asking me to confirm my choice. So all I have to do is just let me just press allow, authorization complete. Excellent, press OK. So as you can see, we have three fields: the template document, new document's name, and new document's location. Okay, so we have to make some changes here. Now we are going to deal with these details later. All we have to do is look for the template. So as you can see, it is by default showing template for plantation certificate. So this is the template that we are interested in working with. Now these are all the files that is present in my Google Drive. Out of all these files, I'm interested in this particular file, that is template for plantation certificate. By default, it is already showing template for plantation certificate. I'm not going to change it. Okay, so with regards new document's name. Now using this particular template, we are going to create a certificate, and when the certificate is created, there should be a document name. There should be the name of the certificate. Okay, so before we deal with the certificate name, there are some interesting things that I have to show you. Actually, I want to show you a magic. Now what I'm going to do here is, this is the certificate. Okay, I'm going to enter a space, and I'm going to enter this. Okay, two pairs of curly brackets, and inside the two pairs of curly brackets, I'm just going to type name. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is, I'm just going to take you to Pabbly Connect. Okay, and let me just refresh this. Okay, so it is getting refreshed. Oh, we do have the magic. As you can see, we had mentioned the dynamic tag, okay, as name, and we have this field, a new field called as name. I hope it is clear. Okay, now once again, I'm going to do another magic. This is to certify that, and here the full name will come. So I'm just going to type full f name. Okay, or you can just type full name. I'm just going with f name. Okay, this is to certify that f name has planted. So once again, let me just click on refresh. Okay, so it is getting refreshed. Okay, so as you can see, we have a new field called as f name. So here the full name will come. Okay, I hope it is getting clear. So first of all, hello Ruby. Okay, hello Ruby. This is to certify that Ruby Billy has planted. Planted what? So I think she had planted lily. So that is why I'm going to introduce one more tag, dynamic tag for type, tree type. Okay, so has planted. Okay, this is to certify that has planted many future generation. Okay, this is to certify that has. Okay, now we do have one more field that was for the roll number. Okay, remember this, we had one more field that was for roll number. Okay, so we have to create one more field if we want. That will look much better. This is to certify that this is to certify that Ruby Billy has planted this tree. Let me just enter with. Okay, and R number, or let's say simple number, okay, has planted tree. This is to certify that with roll number, has planted tree. Many future generation will be saved because of this act of generosity. Okay, so we have entered two more tags, that is a number as well as tree. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm just once again just going to click on refresh. Okay, so we will have two more fields. So let me just straight away show you that. So yeah, we do have two more fields, that is number as well as the tree. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, we are going to enter all the details one by one. Okay, now there is something else, that is the document's name as well as the document's location. Now when the document will be created from this particular template, it has to be stored somewhere. Okay, so my idea is that the document will be automatically saved in my drive. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm just going to create a new folder in my drive. So the folder name is certificates, or plantation day certificates. Plantation day certificates. Let me just click on create. Okay, so a new folder called as plantation. Okay, I'm sorry, the spelling is kind of wrong. Okay, so let me just create one more. Let me just rename this plantation day certificates. Okay, let me just click on create. So a plantation day certificates has been created. Excellent. So what I'm going to do here is, once again, I'm just going to click on refresh here. Okay, so we have created a new document location or a folder. Okay, so let's explore. Yes, we do have that folder, plantation day certificate. Now, if the things are not clear to you, we'll understand in a minute. The idea is that using this particular template, okay, we are going to create a certificate. Now, the certificate has to be stored somewhere. Now, the certificate will be, of course, be stored in my Google Drive in a particular folder, that is plantation day certificate. Okay, that is why we have mentioned the document's location as plantation day certificate. Now we have to mention the type. Basically, we have to mention the document's name. Okay, of course, when a file is created, there must be a name for it. For example, as you can see, let me just show you the certificate from docs. So we do have some names. Okay, so actually we have to give a name, a unique name. So what I'm going to do here is we are going to start mapping. Now we are going to click on this field here, and we have the data that we have received from Google Forms. Now remember this is the same data that we have got here. Okay, as you can see, these are all the data that is from here will be collected, will be shown here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to click on Ruby. Okay, and then I'm going to enter the roll number. So this will be a very unique name for the document. Okay, if you still don't understand, when the document is created I will straight away show you the document. It will be created in 1 minute. Okay, so right now just bear with me. Then we have the name. So basically this particular detail will come here. Okay, hello. So the name was Ruby. Okay, hello Ruby, and then we have to enter the full name. So this particular detail will come here, full name. I hope it is getting clear. Ruby, and then we have Billy. This is the full name, and this is her number. Okay, so basically this is her roll number. This particular detail will come here. This is to certify that Ruby Billy with roll number, with 23 roll number, has planted this tree. Okay, so roll number is there, and now then we are going to map the tree. So this is the tree. Okay, so the tree was she was going to plant lily tree. Okay, so we have practically entered all the details. So when I click on save and send test request, a new document or a new certificate will be created in the name of Ruby 23, and it will be stored in this particular location, that is basically my Google Drive, in this particular folder called as plantation day certificate. And then we have the certificate name. This particular detail will come here, that is Ruby. And then we have the full name, that is Ruby Billy here, and then we have the number, that is 23 here, and then we have the tree as lily. Okay, the tree type will come here. Okay, excellent. So all you have to do is just click on save and send test request. Okay, so the response has been received. Excellent. So what's next? So basically I'm going to show you where is our file and what is our file. Okay, so the address of this file is basically in my Google Drive in this particular folder, that is plantation day certificate. So let me just straight away to my drive. Okay, so this is the folder plantation day certificate. We click here. So as you can see, we do have the document, that is Ruby 23. This is the name that we had mentioned here. Okay, Ruby 23. Okay, so let's explore the certificate. Okay, so this is the certificate. Hello Ruby. This is to certify that Ruby Billy with 23 roll number has planted lily. Many generations will be saved because of this act of charity or generosity. So we have made the certificate. Excellent. Now there is a remarkable thing you can see. Have a look at this icon. Now this particular certificate is private to only me. We have to make sure that I want to share this certificate to Ruby. Since it is private to only me, there is no way I can share it to Ruby. So I have to make it as a shareable one. And remember this particular doc is present in my Google Drive. So in the next action window, we are going to deal with Google Drive. Okay, so we are going to introduce one more action window. Okay, so in the choose app, let me just add Google Drive. Google Drive it is. Now in the action event, how about we just scroll down, okay, and make it as share a file with anyone. Click on connect. Now in the new connection name, simply just click on connect with Google Drive. Okay, so now we have to select an account. So I'm just going with this account because this is the Google Drive in which my doc is present. Let me just press allow, authorization complete, press OK. So by default, it is showing the file ID as Ruby-23. Now remember this, I want a dynamic ID. Okay, so this is your dynamic ID. Okay, so once this document was created, it also generated a document ID. So this is our document ID. Now we want this particular detail here. So first of all, toggle this to the right, remove this. Okay, and let's map from the second accordion because we have created the document in the second window. So this is the document ID and we have mapped it. Excellent. So all you have to do is just click on save and send test request. Okay, so now it is showing the ID as anyone with a link. If you don't get it, let me show you what's the meaning of it. Okay, so this is the file ruby-23, and as you can see, the icon has changed. Earlier it was private to only me, now it is showing anyone with a link. Excellent. So let me just show you the types of link that you can share. So we do have a ton of choices. Pabbly Connect does offer you a ton of choices. So we can share it as an RTF file, we can share it as a simple HTML file, we can send it as a PDF, we can send it as a zip, we can send it as a XML format, we can send it as a plain type. Now out of all these type, I'm planning to send it as a simple PDF. Okay, this one, PDF. So how I'm going to send it? So again, I'm going to mention we are using Chat API to send the WhatsApp messages. So in the next window, we are going to introduce Chat API. Okay, so this is the action window, and in the choose app, Chat API it is. In the action event, how about we make it as send link? Click on connect. Now in the new connection name, we have to enter the API URL as well as the token. Now this is something you get after you build your Chat API account. Now this is the window of Chat API. Okay, so I'm just going to copy my API URL. Okay, and I'm going to paste it here. Then we have to enter the token. So this is how you get the token. I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, and let me just click on save. So when you click on save, you have a set of fields. The purpose of these fields is very simple. We are going to compose a message and Chat API to be sent it to WhatsApp from the data that we have collected from Google Forms, Google Docs and Google Drive. So we have the first field, that is contact/group. Now we don't want to send it to a group, we just want to send it to an individual person. So we are just leaving this field empty. Then we have the phone number. So this is how you start mapping the phone number. You just click here, okay, and the phone number was something that we got from our Google Forms. Okay, let me just show you. Okay, let me just show you where did we find our phone number. Okay, so this was the trigger window, and this is something we have got here. Okay, the WhatsApp number, and we are going to map this particular detail here. Okay, easy. Let me just scroll down. Okay, so this is how you map it. You click here and you have entered it. Easy. Now the body is basically the data that we have received from here. Okay, so this is the body, or basically the type of file, that is PDF. This is the link that we have to enter. So let me just map the body. So this is something you get from the third accordion of that Google Drive. Okay, and we have mapped it. I'm sorry, this is not the one. Yeah, this is the one, PDF one. And then we have base64 encoded. Now we don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just copy this code. Okay, in the two curly brackets we have skip, and we have mapped it. The title is something very plain, hello, and we are just going to map the name Ruby. Okay, easy, done. Then with regards to the description, we don't have to do anything. All we have to do at this point to send the message is just click on save and send test request. Let me do that. Okay, so it is showing the message has been sent. So let me just straight away show you the message, basically the screenshot of the message. Okay, so this is the message, first name Ruby. So basically this is the screenshot. So Ruby is just going to click on this link, and she will be directed straight away directed to the file, that is basically the certificate, and after that she is going to download the certificate, and this will come as a PDF. Excellent. So the presence of this particular data in Ruby's WhatsApp number shows that we have successfully integrated Google Forms, Google Drive, Google Docs and WhatsApp with help of Pabbly Connect. Now before you leave, let me just explain you the whole mechanism in a nutshell. So let me just minimize this action window. Let me just minimize this action window. Let me minimize this action window, and let me just minimize the trigger window. So basically this is the whole process in a nutshell. First you integrated Google Forms to Pabbly Connect, and then you have created a certificate from the template, and this was the template. Okay, And after that, you have made sure that the certificate is a shareable one. And after that, you have used Chat API to send the WhatsApp message containing the certificate link. So now there's a perfect flow of data between Google Forms, Google Docs, Google Drive, and WhatsApp. Excellent.